Hi guys, it's me Mackenzie. Today's video is going to be how to pick your ideal university, and I know it might be too late for the year 13s currently. However, the deadline is soon to do your UCAS and to firm and ensure your choices. This might help if you've visited the unis, but if you haven't visited them, then this video won't really help you. It's more for the year 12s, so you can pick it next year. But yeah, so I've got my trusty notebook and I've got my little thing that says, my little guide that I used whenever I went to universities. So I actually have 3 university vlogs already up on my channel from when I went to Swansea, Royal Holloway and Loughborough. So those are all, those are my main choices. Like the other 2 were Oxford Brookes and Durham, and I turned them down. I was unsure which one I wanted to pick, so I used this guide to kind of rank all the choices. I'll actually tell you my rankings as we go along as well. There's 12 little rank things we can get through, and I'll put them on the side. So yeah. Okay, so the first table is the course. So you can look at this online, so you need to check which course you're doing. So I'm doing psychology, and out of the 3 choices, Loughborough, Royal Holloway and Swansea, Loughborough was the only one that I could do a placement, so I gave that a much higher score. But you just need to look at like what they're gonna teach you, like if you really care about that. Because I know my friend is gonna do English, so she had to look at which like books you're gonna learn and everything, and that's a deciding factor. Whereas for psychology, I didn't really see that as very important, so I didn't decide it on the course. So the next one is location. So Swansea is in Wales, which is very far away. It's in a completely different country to England. Royal Holloway is quite close to London, and Loughborough is slightly further away, but it's still far enough that you feel independent, but it's close enough that you don't feel like you can't come back home because it's too expensive or whatever. Okay, so the next one is cost of living, and this kind of relates to your maintenance loan as well. So your maintenance loan will be different whether you're in London or not in London, and whether you stay at home or leave. So you'll get the most maintenance loan if you go to uni in London and you are accommodating in London, whereas if you live outside of London and you're living at home, you'll get the least amount of maintenance loan. You need to look at the accommodation and the prices of the accommodation, because in Swansea the accommodation, for example, was very cheap, whereas the accommodation in Royal Holloway is so expensive because where it is. Think about your maintenance loan and whether you want to have a job in uni or not, and kind of think how are you going to finance your living and everything like that. Uni faculties. I remember I visited Portsmouth with my friend, and the facilities were good. They had like, you know, those police investigator like one-way mirrors, so you can do like an investigation for psychology without them like knowing they're being investigated or whatever. So like the facilities were good, however the building was really bad. It's so old. Yeah, also town faculties. If you're moving out, because obviously if you live in the place where you're going to go to uni, you'll know about the whole town. But I definitely recommend, if you do go to an open day, look at like the town area. When I went to Loughborough, I asked Mum to like just drive around the town before we went home. We could see like all the shops they have, like the cinema, just stuff like that. Like, because you're gonna be living there, you want to have things to do. Like, I know me and my friend the other day, we were talking about Royal Holloway, and we realised there's not really much to do that's close to the uni, whereas like Loughborough, there's so much. That's why Loughborough was slightly higher than Royal Holloway. Also, that relates to nightlife as well. If you're not interested in nightlife, then you don't need to use this as like your guide. But yeah, most unis will have like a good nightlife area around the uni, because obviously a lot of students will be living there, so they'll like have more of a demand for it. So that's important. Maybe take into consideration. So accommodation, I already talked about accommodation with the pricing, but if you want catered, or if you want non-catered, then you have to look at that, because unis do it very differently. Royal Holloway, the catered, you have like a standard kitchen. They call it a pantry because you can't cook anything there. You don't have an oven, you don't have a stove, you only have cupboards, a fridge, and like a toaster and a microwave. You can't really cook anything. It's pay as you go, so you only pay for the meals you eat, whereas in Loughborough the price of the food is included in your accommodation fee. So if you miss a meal, then you've paid for a meal that you've missed. So I don't know if that's good or not. I don't really find it good because I know for a fact I'm not going to eat every meal. So that's why I'm kind of thinking not to do catered. Yeah, so with Loughborough, you also have a kitchen in your accommodation, like a proper kitchen with an oven and a stove and everything like that. Because on the weekend you have to cook for yourself, so you get the best of both, I guess. With accommodation, look at how you're going to get food, whether you're sharing your bedroom, whether you're sharing a bathroom, whether you're sharing your kitchen or not, because you can get a studio where you have your own kitchen and bathroom, but you need to think of the price because that would be way more expensive than sharing a bedroom, bathroom and kitchen. Do you know what I mean? Also teaching style. If you have time and go to the talks, I did go to the talks for all of the unis that I went to, and you can kind of get a vibe from the teachers. All the psychology teachers that I did see, they were all very funny, so that's good, but they also showed their own like investigations that they did. It made me know that they were very interested in their course. So the next one is contact hours. So I don't actually know what mine is because I don't really care, because I do psychology, so it's not really like that important. I think there's 8 contact hours a week. So that basically means the amount of hours you spend at the uni, like studying with like a teacher, then independent studying. If you do a bachelor's of arts, so like English, you'll have less contact hours than someone that does like chemistry or biology, because they will need to use a lab, whereas someone that does like an English degree, they just need to they can study independently, if you get what I mean. Also, the next one is student union. This also is subjective as well. So the student union is kind of like where everyone hangs out and like where the parties and clubs and everything happens. I never visited a student union. I didn't really find it that important, but I do know for a fact Loughborough was rewarded the best student union in the country. I still didn't visit it because I don't really care about it, because I don't know, it's not going to be a determining factor for me. But yeah, if it is for you, then definitely go visit it, talk to the people there, see like the clubs that they have and everything. So the next one, number 11, is second year housing, because most people that move out for uni, they don't live on campus for the whole years, 3 roughly years that you're at the uni, so you usually move out. Kind of look around at the houses. Obviously you can't really go into the houses. If you know roughly about the place where you're going to, like Swansea is a very cheap place to live. I think it's like the 3rd cheapest uni in the country, whereas Royal Holloway is in Surrey, which is very expensive. Surrey is a very expensive place to live, so obviously the second year housing is going to be more expensive than if you go to a cheaper place like Swansea. The 12th and final one, last but not least, this is like the most important for me, is the vibe. When you go to the uni, how do you feel? Can you imagine yourself going there? So I keep using my own examples, but like with Swansea, when I went there, it was like ticking all the boxes, but like the vibe there was a bit, I don't know, it wasn't suited to me, Do you know what I mean? Whereas a place like Loughborough, that's very centred around sports, and I love sports, was more my vibe, because it was more of a team, it was more competition, like between accommodation, like between the houses, and it just seemed more of like I could imagine myself living there more than going to Swansea, say for example. So definitely get the vibe, and you know, you could always talk to the ambassadors and see like what you get from them. Organise them into the importance for you, and then go to the uni, rate them out of 10, see what score everyone gets, and if you're curious, I will tell you the final scores that I gave my unis. So Loughborough, I gave 80 out of 100. Royal Holloway, I gave 70 out of 100. And for Swansea, I gave 68.5 out of 100. So yeah. So that's how I determined my firm and my insurance, and I hope that helped. Yeah, because I know people are confused on how to pick their uni. You need to think of a lot of things, not just like, oh, it looks good, I'll just go there. You know, you're gonna go here and you're gonna get a degree from this place, so you want it to be a place that you like. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. Sorry I've been rambling quite a lot, but yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a